Hello guys, my name is I am Rogers from Hispania, Kenya. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching to my YouTube channel. Consider subscribing, watch, like and share. Today episode I'm going to tell you to talk about animal keeping. This animal keeping which I'm going to talk about is about those domesticated animals that we normally keep in Africa, in the continent of Africa, like camels, goats, sheep, cows, and so many others domesticated animals that you know, that which you normally know. At the same time, those which have not mentioned above there. We can start with a cow. This cow that in Africa they do, there's some countries that practicing animal keeping like cow. These are, I'm talking about cow you can found in Burundi. That is the first country that is being found in Africa that are practicing animal keeping, and those animal like cow that I've mentioned that is being found in that Africa, that country that I've mentioned above, like Kenya, Burundi, Mozambique. Those are the countries that, and Uganda also, is also being found in Africa, whereby they are practicing that animals for it, for consumption of a human. Thereafter, after that point, animal itself actually, before it goes to be a cow, for it to be used, it is normally there is two types of a cow. We have the male one, the male cow, and the female cow. This female cow actually it can go up to that when it conceives pregnancy. Female cow, it conceives that pregnancy in 9 months like a human being. At the same time, those animals that I have mentioned above, they are omnivorous animals. When I'm trying to talk about omnivorous, meaning that they feed on fresh and greens, grass and greens and flesh. The same applies to human being. Also, human being is an omnivorous animal. So, despite that we have talked about a cow it had, for if you want to know how a cow look like, a cow actually have 4 legs, the front legs and the back legs. So meaning a cow has 2 pairs of legs. At the same time, in a cow, we have some holes like these ones. There is some the horns, not holes, horns. Those horns actually in that part of Africa, they use them for blowing. Those blowing, they are using ancient time, but they used those bows in ancient time as a means of communication. At the same time, we have in a cow, we have that tail, the tail of a cow, the tail of a cow. That tail of a cow, when you remove it properly, you can use it for making a panga handle and also a knife handle from that tail, that back of a tail. So from that point, there are some parts that are being found in a cow. When you see, like in a stomach, we have the spleen, which uh, we have spleen in a cow. We also have a bad sac in a cow that collects the food that which is undigested food from a cow. At the same time, we have what you call in a cow small intestine. Those small intestine also, its function is it helps in it works as the same function to those of human being. Like we have it helps for digestion of food. It keeps food, digestion of food taking place in there, small intestine. And also we have in a cow large intestine. Those large intestine, it helps to transport water and mineral salt from one part of the body of a cow to another point. When I'm talking about that, what I'm trying to pass this message is that I was trying to talk about cow itself and its functions and all the parts that are being located in that area, in that part of an animal that I've mentioned above, that is cow. When you look, when we put aside about that animal, like a cow, we also have a sheep, a goat, and camel, and many others. Like when we go forward and look about a goat, it has also a horns, but those horns are two very sharp. And also it has a upper jaw of the teeth, and the lower tooth that we have canine, molars, premolars, and incisors. Those those type of teeth that animal have, that animal have, those domesticated animal like that I have mentioned earlier, that animal like sheep, goats, and animal, they have the same type of teeth. The same implies to cow that which have not mentioned that it has molars, premolars, and incisors and canine. And the function of those teeth, those teeth, like canine, like molars, it molars and premolars, they helps for grinding and chewing of the food. Incisors act for tearing and biting. At the same time, canine also act for tearing and chewing. Those are the main function of those teeth that I've mentioned above, that comprises in animals like a cow, sheep, goat, and other kind of animals. So let's go forward and look about this type, the third type of an animal that we have, like a goat, like a sheep. A sheep, the only difference between these all animals that I've mentioned above, the difference is only the duration that are taken place when they are giving birth. The time they are conceiving and they give birth. When you look at a cow and a human being conceive in one term season, only in 9 months. It gets birth, then it bring up a calf, a smaller cow that we call a calf. In a goat actually it's take 2 terms to give birth. From January, February, March, it gives January, February, March, April, May, June. When it reaches June, it gives birth to young ones. Then in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, then it gives another birth, meaning that conceive in twice in a year, a goat. The same when you go forward, then you look about sheep. The sheep conceive about thrice a year, differently apart from like other these animals that I've talked about. In sheep, it is on 3 months. After 3 months, they give birth. After 3 months, give birth. After 3 months, when I'm try to come close, please. When I'm trying to talk about this sheep that we normally practicing as a domesticated animal, at the recent which I've mentioned above, like cow, sheep, and goats. This is the third type of an animal that we normally domesticated or practicing in farming in Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda. Those are some countries that are being found in Africa, in the continent of Africa. So, after that, in this third type which I've mentioned of an animal, which is sheep. This sheep, it conceived in thrice a year. When I say thrice in a year, I mean from January to March, it conceive one, it give birth once. That's once, and the second time that it give birth, it is from March, then to May, and from May to Dec. From May to June to Dec, meaning thrice a year is giving birth thrice. So for that type of an animal that I've mentioned, I'm trying to talk about, actually that sheep, those sheep, they are normally kept in Kenya. A big number are being found in Kenya. So what I can urge these people who are watching me, that this type of domesticated animal that we normally kept, actually they're so good. They help us in for use, and they can help us to grow our family day to day. And remember, when I'm talking about this, the comparison of these animals that I've mentioned above, actually all over the Kenyan community, and Tanzanian, Ugandan, Burundi, and Bujumbura, whichever the case, so long as they are domesticated animals, these animals, they are so good. They help people. Their skin, we use this skin in the ancient time for sleeping. At the same time, we use them for covering up our bodies. So actually, I can say everything that we normally have in Africa here, which surrounded us, whether it's crop plantation or animal that I'm talking about today, actually everything in Africa, it helps people of Africa to be in a good position, whereby they can, it helps these people of Africa to have a long life and a good life, so that they can be satisfied with that kind of life that they are living day to day. So another type of animal that I've not mentioned is camel. Camel in Africa generally is being used for when you are going to the rivers. It helps to carry up a large number of liters of water from a long distance area to towards your home place. And those camels, it helps you. That's the first advantage of those camels. They carry water for you easily without have a big burden or getting tired. It can also like 15, 20, 100 also. And also it can carry in a different many times. Those camels can go to the river thrice, twice, 5 at a time in the river. That's the first advantage of camels that we normally have in Africa. Second advantage, which I can tell you people whom you are watching to me, to this new video, short video, I can say is that another advantage of camels, it helps. Its meat is so sweet, and it also been eaten by people. It is a soft meat and very delicious meat, like other meats of cattle that we normally have in Africa here, like cow, goats that I've already mentioned earlier, and also sheep. I think that it was the fourth animal that is domesticated in Africa, meaning that despite of all those animals that I've mentioned above, they, I think all of those animals, they have significant, the positive significance and negatively significant. So, meaning those who are not understanding that thing, I'm trying to say that those animals, they have advantage and disadvantages. But advantages are so many compared to disadvantages that they have. Remember, omnivorous plants. These are no, not plants. These are omnivorous animals. The same applies to a human being, meaning the work that a human being is being done is the same implies to animal that we are keeping in our continent of Africa. I don't think that other continents like Asia, Europe, North America, South America, they are keeping these animals. I don't think so. But I will try to search to look for my research so that I can know if it's true or false that they normally practicing this domesticated animal. So the only thing which I can say is that animal keeping is a special duty to human being, to those who are likely to start in their homes, and those animals actually can bring profit and losses. So at the same time, I can say is that for those who are watching to my video, try to see when I get a lot of time to do another content which is similar to this one, I will show you to those people who in abroad countries to look what I was trying to talk about, those cows. Maybe there is some white people, they have never seen cows, sheep, goats. They are trying to listening that to me that what is cow now? How is it growing? does those animals they feed on. But I said that earlier, those animals actually, they normally use their omnivorous plants, and omnivorous plants, they feed on flesh and green grass only. Thank you very much for watching my video, and may God bless you. Try to, for those who are new to this YouTube of mine, try to subscribe, share, comment, and take a good of look. Thank you very much. Click there.